1 in 5 Americans lives in rural areas. Rural America faces unprecedented levels of stress due to geographic isolation, urbanization, and changing weather patterns. Our nation's problems become more severe for regions that are strapped for resources. Many of our freshwater sources are being drained faster than they are being replenished.
The Ogallala Aquifer in the Plains region will never see the water levels that it has in the past. Since agriculture consumes 70% of freshwater supply, the rural areas are seeing firsthand the challenges of increasing water demand.
Energy in rural areas poses significant challenges for some families and businesses.
Upgrading and maintaining the energy infrastructure in those areas is costly for those communities.
The national teacher shortages are more acute in rural America, where average education levels are lower than in the cities.
1/2 of school districts, 1/3 of schools, and 1/5 of students live in rural America. The problems of rural schools cannot be ignored.
Obesity rates in America have reached alarming levels, especially in rural areas.
Low-income and rural populations are at-risk groups for food insecurity and obesity, which puts them in danger of heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and cancer.
Rural areas have some of the highest suicide rates, coupled with limited access to mental health services.
Rural communities often struggle to address the mental health needs for their residents, and they often struggle with the devastatingly large needs for substance use disorders in their communities.
Textile manufacturing in the United States has collapsed, and only 1/5 of the cotton grown here stays here to be processed.
Due to the evolution of the textile industry these past 2 decades, we are now exporting 80% of our production.
Temperatures are getting more extreme, our dry periods are getting longer and stronger, and our rainfalls are more intense than ever before.
How will changes in climate variability and long-term trends affect our water resources? How will it affect our crops? How will it affect our health, our air quality, our economy?
Thrive Rural America is Texas Tech University's response to these rural challenges.
Here in West Texas, we see firsthand the successes and struggles of rural America and how we can best solve their problems.
Texas Tech researchers in science, technology, innovation, education, and health are working on dynamic projects with impacts beyond the university and our region.
This effort requires collaboration between Texas Tech University system and local communities, civic organizations, and industry leaders in order for this to be successful.
Thrive unearths different techniques to supply water to communities that are at risk of running out. Thrive shrinks and refines energy solutions to make them more beneficial to the people who use them. Thrive reaches out to children and families in need and provide them with better opportunities. Thrive uncovers different ways to prevent or treat obesity in rural areas using the latest discoveries from biomedical research and community-based interventions. Thrive uses telemedicine services to provide psychiatric interventions to at-risk teens in rural West Texas. Thrive works to improve textile manufacturing in an effort to bring these jobs back to the United States. Thrive analyzes weather patterns to better protect the infrastructure of our communities. Thrive is bringing all of this together to overcome challenges for a better tomorrow.
Investing in rural America
is an investment in
our nation's future.